Hi, everyone. Thank you again for joining me today on Tap Into Your Creativity. Hopefully, Jane will be able to join us now. So, Jane, if you see me going live, just press the live button and just request to go live with me. So just bear with us for a second. And hopefully Jane Burton will join us really soon. I'm super excited to have her. She's going to talk about her life, her inspirations. She's going to do a demo, and we're going to also sell a piece of art from Jane. So I'm so happy, and I hope you guys all had a beautiful Thanksgiving. I sure did. I was in Chicago with my kids, and I had the best time and such quality time with them, and it was just unbelievable. So Jane, where are you, Jane? Okay, for some reason she's having trouble finding me. I see Tony is here. So, and Robin, thanks guys. I'm gonna have to restart this again, trying to connect with Jane, but she's having a little bit of trouble. Let's just give her one more minute, and if not, I will restart this. Oh, there she is. Yay! Okay, Jane, I see you. I'm gonna bring you in. I guess you need to request to go live with me, Jane. Here. You just need to accept, Jane, and we're on. Oh, yay!
Oh my
We
God.
did it! Oh my God, I'm like sweating right now. I'm like, oh my God, I hope she finds me. I hope we can do this.
I know, me too. So,
well, we're here. Welcome. I am so grateful for you, Jane, to be here today with me. I'm truly a fan of your work, and welcome to the program.
thank you so much. And you're doing so much. I just can't believe, the money that you're raising for Feed America and all the artists that you're connecting with each other. I'm really a fan of yours and really excited to be here.
Thank you. I think that we're doing so well as a community of artists, and what I try to do with this program, not only help others in need, but also lift each other as artists and help each other out. And, I love doing that, connecting people. Our community of people have become really big globally. We connect with each other from all over the world, and we're all in it to support each other and to help. And so that's just amazing to me. So
Fantastic.
thank you,
Yeah.
Jane. So tell us a little bit about yourself and where you are now.
Okay. I am an abstract painter. And but I've had a career. I actually went to school as a fine artist at UC Davis. Wayne Thiebaud is one of my professors. Love him. And but then I went into graphic design to make money. So I was in graphic design, and it sort of moved into marketing and stuff. And I was doing that for a while. And then I got involved in clay with Native American potters in Santa Fe at Ghost Ranch, and was just got really, just fell in love with clay. And so I started doing sculptures. So I've been doing sculptures since 2000. So I do large scale figurative sculpture also. And then one time when I was at a residency at Banff, Canada, I went back to painting, and I haven't stopped. So I'm actually selling my kiln, and I'm moving forward and just painting.
I love
now.
that, Jane. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your childhood. Were you always, intrigued by the arts, or were you, exposed to it?
Yeah, I was exposed. My dad was a really good he was an engineer, but he was a really good artist, and he had, he followed the arts and had paintings and always had a craft project for us. So we were always doing crafts in his workshop. So, and then my mom was a docent at a lot of different museums. So we would go and do that. My older sister is a painter. My younger sister is a sculptor, Tyler Burton. And we do a lot of stuff together. We've done residencies together and stuff. and then and then I have a sister that's in between them that is a fashion designer.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So you're truly like the family that had submerged completely into the art.
We were very lucky that way. Yeah.
That's unbelievable. And so your parents obviously encouraged you to continue in the arts and push it in your paintings from when you were young?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they were definitely encouraging of it, or not discouraging of it. Let's put it that way. So it's been I had a rich childhood. It was great. You know, spent a lot of time outside and really I grew up in Ohio.
And did you get a degree in fine arts or in graphic design?
Fine arts.
Fine arts.
Yeah.
So how did you then move into graphic design? It's very different.
Yeah, it's very different.
You know, to even use the same tools and everything, it's just a whole different venue. How did you get into that?
I didn't decide I wanted to do that until my last quarter at Davis. So I finished up my degree, and then I went and did graduate work at another university in graphic design. I didn't actually get my master's, but I did work in it, and then got a job and just moved forward from there. Yeah.
And you stayed in the graphic design world for a while?
I stayed in the graphic design world until, it merged into sort of marketing, and got really involved in computers and technology. And so I was working part-time, at least when my daughter was growing up. And that was until 2006.
Oh, and then what happened? Tell us how was that transition, and what made you decide that?
I quit to become a full-time artist because I was selling my work, and I was in, I don't know how many galleries I was in at that time. On and off, I'm usually in about 6 galleries, and I've lost 5 of them during COVID, which was interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they closed.
Come back and you have to tell us about that.
Yeah, they closed. So, so anyway.
So the transition, when you decided to do that, at the same time you were already painting and you were already successful, and that's how you made that transition? Is that what I'm listening at? That what I'm hearing?
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. My husband was working for an arts council thing at the time without any insurance. So I said, you have to go put a suit back on and get insurance. And so he did that. And so that was helpful. And then, yeah, so then I just decided to go full time, and it's been great. Yeah.
So have you changed from when you started to where you are now? Because I'm thinking it's around 20 years, right? That you've been really at it. So tell me about those first years, you know, like how did you go from graphic design into being a full-time artist? How was that transition for you?
Well, actually, because I had a lot of marketing skills, I think that was helpful. You know, to having some of those life's business skills was really great for me to move in at that stage. I was so passionate about the ceramics at the time, the clay work, that I was just in my studio all the time. And I don't know, I've never looked for a gallery. They've always found me. I don't know how. I've just been super lucky that way. I had my first show was offered to me in a year before I quit, and it was an actual solo show. And so that's
where did you have your paintings then? Because Instagram was not a thing then. So how did they find you?
It was all my sculptures, and I submitted my work for just a group show, and she asked me if I wanted this solo show in another room. So at this Bedford Gallery, in like city-owned thing. And so from there, a gallerist came and saw it and put me in a show in San Francisco. And then from there, a gallerist from Laguna Beach saw it. So it was different than Instagram.
So you think the process of going through applying or showing your work towards a gallery? Has it changed from then to now, or do you think that it's still the same thing? You need to pull yourself, you know, you need to have a great portfolio. You need to still submit when they ask you to. You find, what are the similarities or not?
Because I've never looked for one, I don't really know, but I think it is much more like it was before. I mean, I think it's all relationship building, and it's however you do it. You can do it, they can find you on Instagram now. You know, it's just a different tool. I think you have to have a body of work, and I think you have to have enough work to support them, you know, so that if they sell 3 pieces, you've got that work backed up for them. I think you need to call them a lot and show up, and you know, it's just all the basic stuff of working with galleries.
Yeah, I think also it has changed because now we can show our work every day, right? And so, like myself, when I go through the process of finding artists, I curate through Instagram, and then I find what I like. And I think a lot of galleries are using Instagram, for example, to look for new art.
I think they are too. I think it's a great tool. And I've been working on my Instagram. I went from 800 followers to almost 10,000 now in a year.
It's unbelievable, Jane.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us about your growth? I know there's a lot of people that want to know, because I know for myself even, Instagram is a very fluid process. You just never know what they're going to throw to you, and you don't just never know what's going to work and what's not going to work. So what do you think that has worked in a year for you?
You know, I think at least in the beginning, it's putting in a lot of time and really responding with good to the interior designers and stuff that I follow, but also to the other artists. And, you know, just start building relationships, and, you know, and be authentic. I mean, I think that's one of the most important things is, you know, just try to be authentic and give something, you know, always, you know, there's so much to give. There's so much information to give. And I think that's, you know, I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I think this program has shown that artists are so incredibly generous on showing us their process and their creativity and their inspirations. And we don't need to charge for that, right? We want to get that out.
Yeah, it's incredible how much I've learned from other artists.
And I know that you're also, and I know that you've taken a lot of classes for yourself. So obviously that has helped you tremendously, but can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Sure. I've been well, actually during COVID, I started taking Steve Imany's workshops, which are incredible. And there's usually between 7 and 10 artists. And it's an 8-week course. And we really, it's more of a course on the psychology of painting than it is on technique of painting. And it's, you know, getting rid of your fears and knowing when to step back and reassess what your gut's telling you, and not necessarily what you're thinking in your head. And you know, I have my studios here at my home, and it was always bothering me. I wanted to have a studio with a whole bunch of other artists because I didn't have a community. But during COVID, I built this huge community with other artists that we really got to know each other well. And some of them I've been able to meet in person now. But it was really an amazing time for me to have that space to paint, and to have the community that I had was really quite incredible. And then in September, I went to Krista Harris's workshop in Santa Fe. So, and I got to meet 3 other of the women that were in my Steve's class. So that was really incredible. But no, I try, you know, I'm always experimenting. So I'm always looking for new concepts and new ideas. And you know, when I started his workshop, I thought it was all going to be about technique and, you know, how to look at the angles in painting. And we have some of that, but what I got out of it was incredible.
You think your painting has grown or changed because of it?
So much. And
can you tell us how?
Yeah, I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid to ruin a painting. And I know that there's like, a lot of different renditions in a painting. You just start that way. My paintings are so much looser and freer than they were. I leave things that are unusual that I would normally think, oh, that's kind of weird, and go in and fix it. I don't fix anymore. Um, yeah, I'm enjoying it more because I don't get into the space ever of me being negative about myself that I screwed it up. That
Or
never,
doubt yourself. Yeah.
I got rid of that, which is like fantastic.
That's incredible, because I think that you lived in the ugly painting for a while, and you thought, okay, ugly is not bad. Ugly, I can live with it. And sometimes ugly is amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Totally.
So,
Yeah.
but I
So,
think that you have to, like you said, you have to do so many paintings and put yourself out there to get to where you are right now.
yeah, it's showing up. You got to show up in your studio. You got to paint, I mean, but what's worse than that? I mean, that's just wonderful.
So what's your inspiration, Jane?
I'm inspired by a lot of things. I love, when I do initial drawings, I sometimes look at either the human body, and sort of do blind contours of it, or nature, or I'll get like silver dollar eucalyptus and sort of just look at it while I'm drawing. That's usually for initial stuff, or sometimes if I want to bring that something in that's life. I think that when you're painting from life, that your painting will have life in it. So and that's just when you're putting down your initial sort of structure that's underneath of it. So I love doing that. And then of course I'm inspired by other artists, the de Koonings, and I'm going tomorrow again to the Joan Mitchell show with Julie Markfield. So that's really exciting.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, this will be my 5th time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, and you can tell that you are inspired by Mitchell's work. I think also the way that you're describing how you work, you almost, in your videos that you have shown to us, you like me and a lot of artists, you're dancing with your painting. So it feels like you and your painting are really connected and one.
Yeah, I mean, you really feel that way, and I don't even think I put music on out there yet. Darn, but yeah, I usually have to have the music going, and because it keeps you out of your head, and I think that's the main thing. Just really work with your body and your gut and how you feel, and stay out of your head. And that's where
It's hard to do that. It's easier said than done.
It's really hard to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
there's obviously times when you should step back. When a painting gets more developed and you get to a point, well, is it done? Or I know it's not done, but it needs something. Then it's time to step back and really, assess what's going on. But when you're actually painting, you need to be in that dance mode, in that, free mode.
Were you always an abstract painter, Jane, or did you change it up?
No, actually, when I first started painting again, because I was doing figurative sculpture, I started doing figurative paintings, and I didn't take me very long to switch to abstract, because there's one of the other reasons why I'm not doing my sculpture anymore is that because it's very technical. Especially the large pieces that are much larger than me, I need to do sections, and I really need to think. When you paint the glaze on, it's like green and it comes out red. I mean, it's not what you see is what you get, and you're constantly in your head, and that's just not me. That's just not me. I like to work from my gut. So so when I started painting again, I just felt that freedom that I had been missing, as much as I love clay.
And your palette, what do you think about your palettes? Do you have an idea of what colors you're going to use when you start, or is it something, again, that it's very organic and it just happens while it's what you're painting?
It's pretty organic, but I've tried several times to, like either in Photoshop or like mixing up colors and having a palette. I've tried several times to try to predetermine that, because in my head, I keep thinking that if it's predetermined, then I don't have to think about it. I don't have to stop and mix, but it just doesn't work for me. I mean, I have some predetermined colors that when I mix up my paints, if I really like a color, I will, I'll make more of that. But, yeah, but I really want that to work for me, but it doesn't. So I'll start a painting with some predetermined colors, but then you just never know where it's going to go, which is not.
What is your favorite? I know that you love to paint really large scale. Do you find it challenging to go smaller and easier to go bigger?
Yes. But I started doing these oil sticks, and I've just been loving this like small contained area where I can just sort of work with them, and they're so luscious, and they go on so beautifully. And so I've been doing these little 12 by 12s in oil stick on a table, and it's really nice. It's really different, and I didn't think I would be okay painting small, because it always has been an issue. When I paint my paper pieces, I tape them all to my wall together and paint them like one big painting. And then I pull out sections that look promising, and then work on them individually. But I still start them like one big painting.
So your 12 by 12s, the oil sticks, is it on wood or on paper?
Most of them are on like wood, like a cradle board gesso okay. Board.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I try it on paper, but it just doesn't smooth as much.
Okay, got it. Okay, Jane. Well, if you're ready, we're ready.
Yeah.
To go on a gallery tour. I'm super excited. You guys, we're going to have the last 5 to 10 minutes of questions. So, so you can ask Jane anything you want then, but I'm keeping the comments off. Jane, in the middle of the screen, you're going to see 2 arrows.
Yeah, got
there
it.
You go. Perfect.
Okay. I did it twice. Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, so this is my gallery in my downstairs of my house, and I have most of it right now is being taken up for storage. So anyway, this is sort of the area most of my painting, and I do back here.
Well, so that's just your storage, and then this is where you.
Well, I used to do ceramics out in this area and painting down here, but so I'm actually in the process of converting the garage with a heater and everything. So
that's so great. I love that.
Yeah. So yeah.
Oops. I'm losing you. I think maybe the internet is not great in there. There we go. There we go.
I'll move slower, okay?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Good. That's one of my sculptures.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wait, don't move it. I love it. Yes. Wow. So how tall is that?
I don't know. That one's probably 10 feet.
And it's clay?
Yeah.
Wow. It's fabulous.
Thanks.
I love everything about that. You get to see it all the time.
And it has writing on it. So I've incorporated a lot of writing in some of my paintings. But then I'll go slow so we don't lose the internet here, I guess. Okay. So I was going to show you some of my so anyway, this is just sort of just my little studio here. I have a sink back here, and this one's my working on an oil stick there, painting. So, but I have some materials and my favorite materials and stuff to show.
Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you.
Okay, so I don't use the pads of palette paper. I buy this butcher paper on Amazon, and then you can roll it out as much as you want, and it's really great. Brushes are really just crappy brushes. Well, this is a hack brush. These are those chip brushes that
I buy them at Home Depot.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I do, however, have some nice brushes. This is pretty beaten up, but that's Princeton, that I, are still some of my favorites. And then color shapers, of course, and other things to use to smear the paint, squeegees. I work with Golden and Liquitex. But
Is that because you like the quality of the paint, or just have you tried to paint with other brands?
Most of my paintings with Nova.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
That's because of the texture of it. It's looser. It still has a lot of pigment in it, but it goes on for big. Usually what I'll do is I'll do the Nova paints, or paints that I've mixed up myself out of the Nova paints. And then I will go on with the Liquitex and Golden, sort of for the detail work, or for like glazing.
Yes, yes.
Or I'll use some of the Golden fluids.
Got it. And I see you have a lot of inks there too. Yeah.
Yeah, I do a lot of inks sometimes when I'm first just doing the initial stuff on the painting.
Okay.
I love these. These are those sauce things that you can just squeeze out the paint. So it works really great when you're moving fast. I do paint. I do mix up some of my own colors, and then I have these like charts that show this is the color that I mixed up, and this is if I add a little bit more yellow. This is if I add a little bit more violet, and then all of those are with white tinted going down.
Oh,
so
I love that.
I can start with my pre-mixed one, and then just add a little bit more of the cad yellow medium, or a little bit more of the violet, and and this chart's not even completed yet, but I really like doing that. Or I will I'll mark on the top of the lid, like a page number.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I'll do it in a book, and I'll start doing.
Do you actually go back to your notes and look and see what you like, or do you just do it so you can have it as a reference?
Sometimes I go back, especially if I'm trying to mix up a big, like this putty one that I use it all the time. So it's a great muted color, and I just don't have to think. So, and it can give me so many different colors from it. Sometimes I will actually mark, do like what I did in a particular painting, because I really liked how the painting turned out. So I'll just write down what I actually used. So then I'll start with that the next time.
Yeah, I love that. I really do. I think it's a great way for you to go back and look.
Yeah. The other thing that's kind of fun sometimes, but this is what I was saying, I was trying to do. I was trying to like pre-mix my palettes, but you can get the paint chips and then mix your paint to match them, so you can, like, just with a paint chip say, oh, these colors would look nice in a painting, but I'm not very successful at it. Okay, so then my marking tools are, my favorites are the Stabilos. I love using these pencils. These pencils I love to use for like final details. Oops, final details. So,
yeah.
Say for example, I have purple on my canvas. I like to do maybe a little shadow or a little line of yellow around it, and then it really pops that color. You don't see it. I'll show you in this painting. You don't really see it far away, but you see it. So you see the little purple that's there?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So like that, just those little details at the end, I think make a nice, really nice when you're going up close to a painting.
I agree.
These are my favorite, of course. I love the
billows. The woodies. We love the woodies.
We love the woodies, and I set them with a heavy, like a heavy matte gel.
Okay. So after you apply it, you put the gel on.
I do. If I don't want it to smear at all, I'll use fixative.
Okay.
But and then the same things with these. These are also my favorites. So these are the Neocolor 2s, not one, but 2s, and they're water soluble, and they have the most gorgeous colors, and I have a ton of them, and I use those for a lot of line work. Of course, pencils and graphite. This is a...
Yeah, I love that. The chunky one. Yep.
Yeah. Charcoal. This is my favorite. Charcoal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just the
I
vibe.
forgot about that one. That's a very good one.
Yeah, just Amazon. A lot of other charcoals. And then, have you used these? These are they're called
What is
art
that?
crayons.
Is
Art
that
crayons.
chalk?
They're called art crayons. They're by Marabou.
Oh,
They're
no.
really, they're super, super. They're sort of silky. They're like, see that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
They're like,
Are they water soluble?
they're water soluble. So they're sort of like oil sticks, but they're water soluble.
Okay, Jane, after the interview, text me that and I'll put it on our notes.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
So people will know where to buy them and what the brand of them. They look amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, they're probably $3 each, and you can use one up and really quickly.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
Yeah. But and then I have these markers. I don't use them all that much. You know, all the different sort of more like just Liquitex markers and stuff.
Yep.
Because I don't like how often the line feels too even to me. I prefer to use
sharp. It's very sharp.
Yeah. So anyway, I will.
Sure, I understand.
Oops, sorry. I don't know what that was.
I will fix my paintings, especially if they're charcoal, with a fix. I will finish then my paintings with a varnish. So either I use a satin varnish, or I mix satin and matte together, because I just like a little bit of satin. This is sort of my favorite. Half satin, half matte.
Oh, and do you add water to that?
No, I just mix the two varnishes together.
Okay.
Yeah, and Liquitex and Golden are both good. Or I use a cold wax, which is a lot of work. I don't do it very often, but it
gives it a whole different finish.
Gives it a whole different finish.
So it depends for what the finish that you're going to go for, because it's just so different. You can't compare one to another. It's just so different.
Yeah, totally agree. So and then my favorite things are these. So
me too. Oh my God.
So they both work to clean your brushes that you forgot to clean out. And the Murphy oil I really love.
Oh, Jen, I love you for showing that. No one has shown the Murphy, and I'm such a sucker for it.
Oh my God, it's so great. Yeah, so if you have stiff brushes, just stick them in a little pot of this stuff. It's Murphy wood cleaner.
Yep.
And it's wonderful.
It's wonderful. Oh my God, it really is. And it keeps your brushes in great shape. It really does. So, Jane, I know that we're going to show us a little bit of your actual paintings, if you will. So we can see some of your work, and then we're going to go to do the demo, and you're going to show us the painting that we're donating. Wow. So describe us a little bit about your painting. What are we looking at?
This is, I think I might have painted this over an old painting. And I've used a lot of, like the palette knife in areas to create some of that texture. And then I tend to use a small brush on a long dowel, so I don't have a lot of control, and I'll show you that. And then you can see the line work that's happening in there. I use my fingers. I think that mark at the top might be my fingers. So it just has a lot of history, and
Yeah, you can tell. Oh,
yeah.
I love the bottom part, which is heavier on the top and lighter on the bottom. And I just, you sometimes there's no right or wrong, but usually it's the other way around. And I actually love that the lighter part of it is on the bottom. It's gorgeous.
Thank you. I like that a lot because it makes it a little bit more dynamic, I think.
Yes.
So these are little oil stick ones that I have done.
That's only oil sticks?
Well, actually, the background is cold wax and oil,
Okay.
like the blue at the top, and then the rest are just oil sticks on top of it.
I love the mark making on them because you can really see that. You can really see all the mark making on them.
Yeah. I like, so these are some of my sculptures. I just took some
Oh,
photographs of them. Unfortunately, I do not have very many sculptures myself. I didn't save any for myself, but
unfortunate. That's terrible. I love them.
yeah, they were fun. But I'm ready to move on. It was a big commitment to like say I was going to sell my kiln.
They are unbelievable, Jane. And like you said, they're very precise. So I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, it's just a different. Oh, sorry, the lighting in here really sucks, but
It's okay. We can still see it.
yeah, just
So here it's I feel like it's more like a horizontal lines happening. So the rhythm goes from
yeah,
side to side.
it does much more. It's a much calmer piece.
It is.
Oh, here's
Oh,
again, the lighting's horrible, but anyway, I got to step back further.
I absolutely love this piece, Jane.
So this is most of my big paintings I do on loose canvas, because then you can just roll them up and store them that way. There's no way I could even get them out of my studio otherwise.
Right.
And then this is just super active with a lot of mark making in the whole piece.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can see that. Excuse me, the palette here, the colors, you have so much variety of colors, but they work so beautifully together. You make them look so beautiful together.
Yeah, thanks. I was kind of in a really crazy mode at that point. I didn't even think about the color. And I'm not real good at like doing the harmonizing thing where you always put in one color into all the others, but it seems to work fine without doing it.
Yeah.
These are just pieces on paper then that I will start all together and then finish. And I'm moving to deckled edge stuff because I'm moving to Arches paper. This is a nice paper, but I'm moving. So anyway, I'm been enjoying.
So is this the paper that you put all in a wall and then you tape it and then you go from one to the next to the next?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if these two are painted together, but you can kind of start seeing how, maybe they were, how this stroke comes over here.
Yeah.
It's your mind just works differently when you're trying to work bigger and I mean, when you're working bigger. So at least mine does.
Do you use blue tape for it?
I use purple tape. I'll show you it.
Okay.
This is another oil stick.
Oh, love your.
And you can see, you'll be able to see how the edge then is like the cradle board.
Yep. So it's ready to be hung.
Yeah, and it has some really beautiful texture on it.
Oh, you can see that. Wow. Yes, you can.
Yeah. So
Jane, can you show us now the one that we are donating today?
Yeah.
For Feeding America. So you guys, Jane is donating this piece. We are asking $300 for Feeding America. That means that you will be helping 3,000 people, giving them food. And in this times of holidays, when we buy things for everyone else, we can buy and do good for others. So if you want to buy this and do amazing for others, please consider buying this. DM me or Jane. It's ready to go. It's ready to be put on your wall. And every time you see this, you're going to know that you did so much good for people in real need of food. So please help us sell this piece. And You guys, if we sell this piece, Jane has considered giving a second one. So that would mean that we would do a double sell today. So if you have it in your heart to help people and buy Jane's art, please, please, please DM me or Jane, and we'll come back to that at the end of the program. But Jane, are you ready to do your demo?
I am.
I'm so excited.
We actually are going out into the garage because that's where I paint my big stuff. But like I said, I'm starting to convert the garage.
I'm so excited for you. You are going to have like a whole nother studio out there.
Yeah.
You'll be able to go super big in there, right?
My husband built this garage all by himself for his 2 motorcycles and our cars. And so he's not riding his motorcycle anymore. And he was so gracious. He goes, yeah, you can convert it.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Oh, wow. Look at you.
Yeah. So,
oh, Jane. Oh, my goodness. And
I have my new sitting chairs back here from the thrift store. So
I think it's inviting me to come over, Jane.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You guys come and paint with me.
Oh, my God. I would love that. Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to insulate it and put a heater and air conditioner in.
Wow. Oh, my gosh. Jane, your work is breathtaking. I love the mark making on all. You can really feel your energy in each one of your paintings. It's bouncing off the walls. I absolutely love it.
Thank you. Okay, you're ready to do a demo, or are we?
We're ready. Ready.
We're ready. Okay, I'm gonna hand this off to here. You get to. Is that music too loud?
No, it's perfect. It's great. Love it.
I wanted to tell you about the canvas first. So I have the I just use loose canvas, and I tape the edges. And recently I've been doing a lot of like color in the background for the background. And I'm
actually Jane, we're gonna have to turn down the music. Yeah. We hear a little echo, so maybe turn down the music a little bit. Sorry. Oh yeah, much better.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. So so I just tape it, and I tape off 4 inches because that's what I need to stretch it afterwards. And this gives me the idea of where the actual painting is going to be. And so I've been enjoying having a color down first. It's something about when it's just the white canvas, it's something about I don't want to leave that to show, but when it's got paint on it, I tend to have not to have a problem at all showing that, you know, leaving that open space.
Got it.
Yeah. So so anyway, I'll just get ahead here. So I'm going to start with just doing line work with the woodies and the neo colors. And usually what I do is I dip them in the water. I'll just put one in each hand.
Also, you're using both hands at the same time. Wow. So that's how you activate your painting.
Yeah, one of the ways I activate my paintings. You know, you can stick these on a dowel also, so you're not, you know, you're just not having as much control, which gives you just much more interesting marks than what your brain can think of.
How big is that painting?
I think it's 96 inches by 84.
96 by 84. Wowza.
So that's that. And then
I think that whomever's holding the phone has their hands on the microphone. There we go. Perfect. I can hear you now.
okay, so I use this heavy gel mat for fixing it, and you'll see how it really just blends it beautifully together. And just, you know, it doesn't have to. If I really wanted to keep these lines the way they were, I could use a fixative.
It's amazing how they get fixed right away, and you can choose what you want to get fixed or not.
Yeah. Sometimes I use a color shaper. This is not the color shaper, but it's the same type of thing. And it fixes them. It doesn't smear them quite as much.
Okay. Versus using a brush. Is that what you're saying?
Versus using the brush.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just sort of. But mainly, it's to get the whole canvas pretty much, or most of the canvas activated, and something for you to react to when you're
Love that.
when you're painting.
I can watch you paint all day. What should we do?
How much time do I have? I have a couple more things to show. Okay. So then I'm gonna show you. I've got this beautiful brush that I actually found at a garage sale many years ago. I found 6 of them. I stuck them on broomsticks.
Oh my gosh.
So I just keep these, trays from takeout food or whatever, Trader Joe's pre-made stuff. And
So what you really want or going for is zero control.
yeah, at this point I can do anything. It doesn't really matter. This is my favorite part of painting.
Right, exactly. Because your brain is not thinking, you're just doing.
Yeah. And I will step back, usually not at this stage, but a little bit later. I learned to put my paints at the very end of the garage so that I have to step back, turn around, and get a gut reaction. Because when you're painting big like this, you don't have the opportunity to see the whole thing. So it's really important to step back and get a feel of the whole thing. So I'm just going to leave it like that for now.
What's beautiful about your garage is that it doesn't feel like a garage at all because it has the windows in there and you can hear the birds outside.
Yeah, and there's skylights, and so it's really going to be nice for me.
Yes, it really is.
Okay, so I have no idea if it's going to work with this, but this is the golden turquoise fluid, and I really like sponge brushes a lot. So I'm just going to get some color on here. Should usually use a ladder, but
do you like the application with the sponge because it's just a different way, the texture is different?
yeah, I like the way it feels like a wash. You can kind of just come down and create wash. You can also turn it interestingly like that so that it it can kind of really create some beautiful line work also.
Yeah.
But then, once I paint over some of the stuff, then we'll peek through. If I really don't want the drips, I can quickly go in and try to get some of them out. But I like drips. I just don't like too many of them.
How long do you think it takes
I
you,
also,
Jane, for a painting this large? How long do you think it takes you from beginning to end?
oh man, it really varies. I've done one before just out of pure luck in about 4 hours. But,
Wow.
you know, I mean, I think the thing is that often you need to just assume that you're going to do several different renditions on top of it and on top of it. And then I do this first color with just a sample from Home Depot, this bottom color that I have. And I save enough of it so I can go back in and to areas. You know, if I decided that I really didn't like this area in here, and say maybe there was more paint on it, I would go back in with a big brush. I wouldn't go back in and try to clear out an area like that. I would go back in with the same energy, the same kind of brush that I painted the painting with.
Oh, it's good to know that. That's great advice. I like that.
Yeah. So let's see. I have a
And do you
little.
like working in multiples or one at a time, or how do you do that?
I will sometimes have more than one canvas up, and it really depends on the mood that I'm in as to whether or not I move to the other canvas. But it is nice. It's a good trick for when you don't want to go too far on your canvas, when you think you have the energy to still want to paint more, but you really have to let it sit and decide if it's finished. You know, because I it's hard sometimes to know when to stop. So
Right.
that's really nice to have two paintings going. So this is just my little baton with brushes on both ends. So I just like having that distance, you know, and you know, to be able to paint and you know mix in with your old wet paint. It doesn't matter. So,
Yeah. And the mark making that creates when you're far from it, like I said, it makes you not have control and it gives you that freedom.
it really does. It just really extends your arms, so you have so much more space to move. I mean, I can do this whole thing up here now, and I can make much bigger shapes and bigger forms, and because of it. So
Yeah.
that's really nice. And then, well, I don't always put my gloves on, but there's no cat in this, so I won't. But I love using my fingers. So, and I like mixing more than one color together, either on the brush or on my fingers. I have no idea what these are going to do because I didn't prepare it ahead of time. But I'll just come in and see. Now I'm doing this now, but usually I try to create the whole underpainting before I put in like color detail.
So someone is asking if you buy your canvas from like an art store or from where do you buy your roll canvas?
I will give you that link because I have a really great source and it's cheap.
Perfect.
So I have 84-inch canvas and I think it's like under $10 a yard.
Wow. How heavy is it? How many pounds is it? Is it heavy?
It's I don't know the ounce weight, but it's a number 12 is what I buy.
Okay.
And it's called bigduckcanvas.com. And then you have to pay for shipping. But I buy minimum 10 yards, and then they'll roll it. And they'll ship it to you rolled.
Awesome. Yeah, you'll send me the link.
So that's a really great source.
I love using your fingers. That's, you know,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Get your finger off.
I can hear you.
Thank you.
I can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
was
great.
saying I love how you use your fingers. It gives it a whole different energy into your painting?
You know, there's this direct contact that's kind of crazy, but it feel, I mean, obviously it's fun. You know, it's what we all did as kids. And it just gives it this sort of life that I love.
Oh, I absolutely love this.
It's all part of that dance.
Exactly. 100%. Okay, Jane.
Okay.
We are out of time, so I need you to clean your hands, and we're going to go. I'm going to open it up for questions and comments for Jane, and also to talk about the painting that that you are donating today. So hopefully someone would want to buy it. There we go. So Jane, what would you say, what would be maybe 3 tips that you would give emerging artists or established artists that have worked for you that you wish you would have known now?
Oh, definitely understand that your paintings, don't get frustrated when your paintings aren't working for you, because eventually you'll pull them out, you know, and the frustration just makes it harder for you to get to that point. I think it's really great to just be able to just allow yourself to have fun. And so that's probably the first one. I don't know. There's actually so much. I'm at a blank.
That's okay. You just went through a lot. So 2 questions. One, we know your mentor and my mentor, Steve Imony, that's his name. And somebody asked if you gesso your canvas before you start painting it.
Well, I do.
Or does it come prime?
I buy my canvas pre-gessoed.
Right.
Sometimes I'll put another coat on, and sometimes I'll put a color on.
Okay, perfect. And Jane, where do we find your work?
Well, I have it. I usually post the new paintings on Instagram. I have to update my website, but it's janeburtonart.com.
Okay.
Instagram is Jane Burton Art, and my email is janeburtonart@gmail. So, yeah. So, but I also have a couple galleries in the Bay Area. So, Desta Gallery is in Mill Valley, and Art House is representing me, and Karen Imperial at Bryant Street. I think I'm going to have a show either March or April.
Oh, that's incredible.
That's in Palo Alto. Yeah.
Oh, well, I wish you a lot of success for that. So going back to what you referred before, you said that because of COVID, a lot of the galleries didn't make it, huh?
Yeah, these are all new galleries for me. The three that I have now. I still have Fred Holmes up in Seattle, Washington.
Yeah.
And he's going strong. So I have that, and then these 3 newer Bay Area ones. And I'm really enjoying having local galleries too. It's really nice. My other ones weren't. I had to drive forever, you know, Scottsdale or whatever to take my work. So this is really sweet.
Yeah, I bet. And you know, as we mentioned before, and we showed you guys the painting that Jane is donating today. It's so important, not only for Jane and I, but for all the people that we're going to be helping today. So we're asking $300 for Jane's painting. And if it sells, we'll show you a second one that she's willing to donate. So please help us both, right, Jane?
Yeah, no, please. That's great.
So Jane, I can't really thank you enough. This was such an amazing, incredible interview. You gave us so much food for thought, and your energy is contagious, seriously.
Oh, thank you. It's really, I'm just having so much fun. You know,
I can tell.
I'm enjoying, you know, so many other artists and what they're doing. And it's just an exciting thing to be able to do, isn't it? We are so blessed and so lucky to be artists.
I see you now and I want to go to my studio and it's like unbelievable. Seriously, Jane, I hope that you and I can work together soon, side by side, and it will be a great experience. And thank you all for joining me today. I'm going to be live next Saturday with Stacy Phillips. So it's going to be a great interview, and December 18th, Krista Harris will be here, so you won't want to miss any of this incredible art interviews. And Jane, again, thank you. If you're interested in the painting, DM me or Jane, and we'll help you make your donation to Feeding America. So thank you, Jane.
Thank you so much. See you
Bye,
later.
everyone.
Bye.